So not a few options. The most likely is probably the simplest, that they're not on the floor, that they had some sort of travel delay. They were in a constituent meeting. They're racing there. Or, I mean, I know just from knowing the place, there are some people that want to be the literal last ones. And there's like this little Spider-Man meme on the House floor of like, you go, I go, I want to be just the story, the impact. There's so few like defining votes in Congress, even though they vote on a lot of stuff. This is obviously one, and they're trying to make their point, even if it's just for themselves or just for their memoirs. I'm the last one there. So anywhere, any reason from I was stuck in a meeting, I was stuck in traffic, to I just wanted to be the last one on a generation defining vote.
And it's interesting because we did also have a shot that has now gone away because this vote was called, but the House Energy Subcommittee was holding a meeting. So exactly as you're saying, they could have been in other pressing matters that they also wanted to address before leaving to make this vote. But again, still 7 left, 4 Republicans, 3 Democrats still holding on here at this point. Very, very close to the end. But again, everyone so far in the yay category. We were also hearing from Thomas Massie. He has, of course, been extremely outspoken on this. Do you think that that is going to continue to affect his relationships with some of the members of his own party moving forward?
I think his relationship with members of his own party, to say nothing, the president, is sealed. And it has been for a while. He's a thorn. This is not true to this leadership or even this president. He's known as a procedural stickler, right? And the same way Rand Paul is on the Senate side, like there's just not much you can do to please these folks. And it's just kind of, we'll take his conservative vote when it benefits us, and hopefully he's not too loud when it doesn't. Obviously, this was not a case where he was silent. In fact, he was one of the co-authors on this original discharge petition resolution that got to the floor and co-opted leadership to put it on the floor.
All right, and so we're again winding down to the very end here. Still 5 non-votes there. So what we can do at this point is I want to lift up the audio here on just so you can see exactly what's happening, and continue for folks who are just now joining us, need a little bit more context. If you can, Casey, hang on for just a couple of more minutes. But again, the House is now voting on this bipartisan measure that would require the Justice Department to release the files that are currently in its possession related to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. And so this legislation is known as the Epstein Files Transparency Act. And as it's been reported, it was expected to pass, of course, very well here. No votes in the nay column. Well, one just popped up again there, Casey, for the Republicans. It might be yet another blip. We've seen that happen twice so far. And as Casey did let us know, that they have until that gavel pounds there to be able to change their vote. Could have been a simple mistake. So we'll continue to watch. And if not, we'll get the name of that person and continue to reach out to understand a little bit more. But again, this bill would compel the Justice Department to publicly release the files related to Epstein and his co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, within 30 days of it being signed into law, with some exceptions for survivors' personal information and other sensitive material. Casey, I have to ask you here, when it comes to Ghislaine, she's behind bars, she's in prison, she's serving a 20-year sentence. Could the release of these files affect her in any way? Could this affect her petition to, as she's tried several times, to appeal the conviction? Is that possible?
Sure, right? Like anytime new evidence comes to light, I guess I'm not incredibly familiar with. Oh, here you go. You got the gavel. This thing's closed, and I'll let you go.
The nays are 1, 2/3 being in the affirmative. The rules are suspended. The bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
You see it happen. Did you hear that, though? He said the nays are 1.
Yeah, the one stuck. And so if you want to talk about like why there's grandstanding in Congress, watch the incentive structure of that one nay vote over the next 24 hours. You may not have heard of this person before, but I guarantee you're going to know his name or her name for a long time now, because he or she is going to get all the attention. I just don't know who it is yet.
Yeah, we're going to work behind the scenes to figure that out. Again, Casey Burgett there, we appreciate you for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. We're going to continue to listen in. As you said, they're going to be moving on to other information and other votes, 5-minute votes that are set to happen. But we appreciate you for breaking down the very latest, as this is now official. The House has approved the bill to release the Epstein files. All right, so we do have that name. We've just been told here by my producer, Clay Higgins, Representative Clay Higgins. We're going to work to see a little bit more information behind the scenes. And of course, just so you get some context here as to what's happening in the room, I want to put this up on your screen. This is from our Watch With You camera. So we have this is a vantage point of what I can see, but also the vantage point of what's happening in the room. And so right now, working behind the scenes to learn a little bit more about Clay Higgins, the representative, and the state that they are from. We're going to work to get some other information up there on your screen. Here we go. It's from the representative. I'm going to read it out for you. We just got this up on your screen. This is from his X account saying, I have been a principled no on this bill from the beginning. What was wrong with the bill 3 months ago is still wrong today. It abandons 250 years of criminal justice procedure in America. As written, this bill reveals and injures thousands of innocent people, witnesses, people who provided alibis, family members. If enacted in its current form, this type of broad reveal of criminal investigative files released to a rabid media will absolutely result in innocent people being hurt. Not by my vote. The Oversight Committee is conducting a thorough investigation that has already released well over 60,000 pages of documents from the Epstein case. That effort will continue in a manner that provides all due protections for innocent Americans. If the Senate amends the bill to properly address privacy of victims and other Americans who are named but not criminally implicated, then I will vote for that bill when it comes back to the House. This is interesting there. Casey, I still see that you're here on the line. Do you mind chiming in on this? We have the full statement now. I'm intrigued.
With the Delectables Lickable Spoon Treats, anytime is a good time.
Let's go to anything with Epstein on. It's been a couple hours. Gotta be fast with that, bro. They dropped. Ain't nobody in the comments, man. 8 people in there. 17 people back. I need something on the screen.
Investigation. There's been no investigation at all. That was the whole burden of the minority whip's amendment. It was to say, let's have an investigation, refer it to the ethics committee. That's why the distinguished gentleman from Louisiana and I both voted against, and we got a majority to vote against censuring or expelling even George Santos without any ruling by our ethics disciplinary body. Isn't that putting the cart before the horse? I don't get it. I wish one of you could explain that to us, why we should censure her before there's been 1 day of actual investigation. If being on the
at MedStar Health, treating our patients well starts with treating our people well.
That's why we have amazing, wealthy
He has said that he considered Donald Trump the most evil person he ever met. He said without a redeeming bone in his body. So I agree, people can say different things, but Jeffrey Epstein, to me, disgraced himself. But in any event, people want to know, well, what were the contents of that conversation? Why was Ms. Plaskett doing that? I'm sure she's got a good explanation. We're talking about a distinguished lawyer and federal prosecutor who was in the middle of a hearing, which is something that members do all the time, is to talk to people in hearings about different things. But let me ask, if it's now the standard that just to be on a phone call with the U.S. with January 6th insurrectionists and President Trump and his associates who were trying to block the certification of the election, as people were chanting, hang Mike Pence. A lot of phone calls, a lot of traffic going on. In fact, that's why our Republican colleagues dealt themselves $1 million cash payoff bonanza provision in the most recent Republican spending bill. They put that in there because their phone records had been subpoenaed lawfully by a grand jury. They were treated like every other American citizen because their names came up as potentially being involved in that conspiracy to somehow shut down proceedings in the House and the Senate. Now, are we saying just because they were on a phone call, they're guilty of something, we should strip them of their committee assignments? We should censure them? Have we gotten to that point?
I mean, come on. Look, this is the House of Representatives of the United States of America. Let's stick by the Constitution. Let's stick by due process. Let's go through the rules. I yield 5 minutes to my distinguished colleague from Connecticut, Representative Himes.
The gentleman from Connecticut is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the gentleman from Maryland. I'm not going to speak today about Jeffrey Epstein or January 6th. I'm going to confine my remarks to two things that I know about. And I'm going to take a deep breath right now, because to stand here and to have to listen to the gentleman from Louisiana in the guise of just asking questions, besmirch one of the finest members I have had the honor of serving with, I would think would offend the sensibility of anybody in this chamber. But I'm going to limit my remarks to two things I know very well. Number one, the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence and what we need to do to preserve that very special environment. And number two, the character of Delegate Stacey Plaskett. On HPSI, I've served for 10 years. And with Chairman Turner and now with Chairman Crawford, we have fought for that decade to keep the Select Committee on Intelligence immunized from the sewage that flows through this chamber, the partisan attacks, the hideousness. And by and large, we've been pretty successful, with one exception. When that committee got involved in the political investigation around Ukraine in the first Trump administration, every single day, the leaders of that committee work hard, establish friendships, and do the work we need to do to make sure that the toxicity and the sewage that we're hearing right now don't impinge the critical work of making sure that our intelligence communities are keeping Americans safe and not violating civil liberties and not doing things inconsistent with the desires and character of the American people. This effort, put forward by a bunch of people who haven't served on that committee and who have no idea the comity and the grace with which that committee serves, you, sirs, will hurt this committee badly. And I expect every Republican on the Intelligence Committee, and I'll say it again, I expect every Republican on the Intelligence Committee who know Miss...
Yes. We back in the building with another podcast vlog, and this is RDP, aka Raw Dope Podcast Vlog, and I'm your host, Hand 5000. And listen, man, we back on top of that slum ball, that ignorant, the Jeffrey Epstein update. We just want to update y'all on what's going on. The House voted, everybody voted. House set to vote on releasing the Epstein's files. We just can't wait. We can't wait. Well, let me get my tweet.
How many Republicans do you expect to vote for this?
I zip in my pants.
I think it'll be a large vote tally.
In the final hours, the president reversing course, telling Republicans to vote yes, insisting he would sign the bill if it reaches his desk.
Sure, I would. Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it. But don't talk about it too much, because honestly, I don't want to take it away from us.
But over the last several months, the president has repeatedly tried to stop this vote from happening. Speaker Johnson sending the House on August recess early and keeping them out for weeks during the shutdown, which in turn stalled the vote. The president's top advisors working behind the scenes, even summoning Congresswoman Lauren Boebert to the White House to meet with the FBI director and the Attorney General in the Situation Room.
These are friends that I work with. It's okay to have conversations. There was no.
So, hey, if y'all just tapped in, we on that Jeffrey Epstein slum bag. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. We got work to do. I'm in the building, young entrepreneur in the building, Spaz in the building, and you just seen him step in front of the camera earlier. But hey, who am I to judge? The nephew doing his thing. He was helping me out. I was getting it together. But Jeffrey Epstein, man, the slum of the word. So we want to know what's going on. Did the government early on? Did they vote it?
This is a moment of vulnerability. This is a moment, as you can.
They voted to release it, right?
Into those youngest
yes. Release it. Release the files. Whoever dirty dog
So this
whoever
vote forced
dirty
the release
dog
of all
that
the
was on
files
there.
within 30 days. It's unclear how the
Oh,
Senate is going
man,
to handle
30
this,
days?
or if the president's investigations into Democrats could complicate the release. But you heard even there from Republicans saying that the president does not need a vote to release these files. He has the power to do so now by himself.
He sure does, Richard. He did it for Amelia Earhart. He did it for Martin Luther King. He did it for the Kennedy assassination files. He could do it here as well. What we're also seeing is Larry Summers, the former president of Harvard, the former Treasury Secretary, also caught up in this.
Yeah, he's facing pressure to back away from his public commitments, and he says that he will now do so. This comes after newly released documents show that he not just kept in close contact with Jeffrey Epstein, but even did so years after Epstein pleaded guilty to sex-related prostitution
Look,
charges involving a minor.
Dre's got my thing
And a
looking real
statement
nice.
writing,
Hey.
I'm deeply ashamed of my actions and recognize the pain they have caused and take full responsibility for my misguided decision to continue communicating with Mr. Epstein. Summers has not been accused of any wrongdoing, but this does underscore the growing fallout from the release of these files and documents.
A lot of these dudes are really scared, bro. A lot of these dudes is scared. I'm telling you, man, these files by next summer's gonna reveal a lot of dirty, undercover corruption that was going on. You know what I mean? And they trying to put the president at the forefront of this. And if the president is at the forefront of this, hey, like I said last night when we was talking about this, if that is what happened, we know Jeffrey Epstein has been convicted of it, and then there's a lot of people just praying that the files got this and that. I'm telling you, the government had the files too long without releasing them. So the people that's in the government that they don't want to get exposed are not going to get exposed. But the people that doesn't have good blood with them people, they letting them put out there. And I cannot wait till some of them names just going to be dropped in that Epstein thing, because like I said, the reason why I find this Epstein thing so interesting is the way that the other medias, the big media platforms crucify Puff. They crucify every time we in the media for something, every time we do something crazy with the Will Smith smack and they run us through. The Chris Brown and Rihanna through, OJ. Man, they just sued OJ and he been dead. OJ did. They still suing his estate. For the Goldman family, the murder happened. The OJ murder happened so long ago. They just want $58 million from OJ. Like, what the fuck, bro? They just want $5,800 from OJ Simpson, bro. I'm just telling y'all. They just want his money from OJ. So OJ in the dirt been dead a few years now. On doggone, man. I mean, they still want something. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like, you know, black media should cover this Epstein thing. Should cover everything when it's somebody else got to be thrown through the mud. They got to cover it, bro. They got to cover it, bro. When somebody else should be thrown through the mud, we got to cover it. So this Epstein dude, I'm covering it. And I'm covering every name that he exposed. You know what I mean? Why not? Why not? They do it to us. Trump loves government bills, absolutely. Barney Snatch, you're gabbling. Shut the. I don't know why didn't Biden release it. Biden, because he in it. He in it. Why else she wouldn't release it? He covering up for his friend. You know what I mean? Why else she wouldn't release something of a dude? But let that would have been a man of color up there. She on his ass. Like her. Whatever her name is, she want Jeffrey Epstein down. House voted to release it. It's released. And all you gray haired beard, you gray hair on your back, hunting in the forest dudes coming to the light. You know what I mean? Pistol so little, man, they gotta play with kids, man. Y'all dudes crazy, duh. All that money y'all got, man, and y'all couldn't get a whole room full of freaks.
For what they're doing or not doing, when they're leaning in to,
you know what I mean?
To seek the truth. Where tens of thousands of pages have been released by Jamie Comer and 13 subpoenas has all been put out. So now the House just voted to have greater transparency. Time will tell what that means in terms of what the court does and how they deal with grand jury secrecy and what they do to continue to redact and protect victims' names under existing laws and how the courts treat that. That's going to be a process, as the gentleman likely knows, right? This is going to be determined as to what gets released and how. But here we have the gentlelady sitting in the oversight committee texting with a known convicted felon, a convicted pedophile that was very public and known, had served jail time, and is engaging not just in texts that were trivial, but texts involving advice about her questioning of Michael Cohen, all designed to figure out how to get Michael Cohen to be able to somehow go after Trump or Trump's advisors or people around the president. That, to me, is what we talk about with censure, which is contemplated, of course, in our rules and in the structure. The gentleman talked about the Constitution.
So,
we're not removing.
Y'all think they oppressed? I'm gonna ask y'all a question in the comments. Leave it in the comment box, bro. Do y'all think that they want the Epstein file to release to pull a move on Trump? Do you think that's why they so thirsty, or is they trying to expose everybody that was doing that nasty stuff? Because that's what I'm saying. Like, Epstein convicted, he already in jail. The girl wrote a tell-all book and, you know, committed suicide. It's a lot of weird, fishy shit going on around this. I personally don't give two fucks about it, but I just said I'm going to cover it because they cover everything on us. So what I'm saying is they pulling these Epstein files because they feel like the president did something that wasn't right and he should be slandered. Like the prince over there in UK, London, that got caught up in the Epstein throne. They got thrown off the throne, kicked out the big house, and don't got no prince rights no more. Is that what they going for with this, or is they doing this to expose more and more and more pedophiles? You know what I mean? What y'all think in the comment? Are they doing this to expose more pedophiles, or are they doing this to try to veto the president out of office? You know what I mean? I think the Jeffrey file, I think any file, once you convicted and it has crimes like that, should be opened up. Our files are open up. You know what I mean? Anything about us is opened up. You can go to the House of Congress history books or Google it. Why not them? And he definitely did something wrong. He definitely did something wrong. He definitely did something all the way wrong. That boy all the way wrong. So I want justice. You know what I mean? Look at me. I'm talking about I do want justice for the victims. And then I promise you, none of the victims were women of color. But I don't care what color you is. No woman should be violated. Man, come on, man. People get on my nerves about this smoke detector thing. Like, do you be hearing the smoke detector chirping? Yeah, they should be talking, bro. They should be talking. Let me finish getting back to myself. Let's finish listening to this guy. The Epstein files are released.
We're simply saying censure. And we're saying that it is a censurable conduct to say that this individual sitting on a committee taking advice from a known convicted pedophile, convicted felon, that is conduct unbecoming of a member of the United States Congress and engaging in real time, taking advice from someone that we've been listening to, being lectured to, is someone deserving of all of the scorn of the entire world. And he is. That's why we're here. If my colleagues didn't think this was a concern, they would have simply made a motion to table. But my colleagues decided to refer it to committee because they know this is a problem. They know this is not the kind of conduct you want in a member of this body. So I think that the gentleman from South Carolina is right to have brought this forward. I think that the body should hear this debate, and tonight that we should vote tonight to censure and refer to the ethics committee for further consideration. And with that, I yield back.
Yield. Gentleman from South Carolina.
It's over.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Maryland is recognized. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
He said, no, I feel like it may be intended for one person, Trump, that more will be brought to the forefront. For sure, Candy Cane. Hey, if you got to hit that like button, you got to donate to the channel. You got to do something for me to read your comments. I'm not reading no more comments. It's not going to get my views up. You know, Spaz said, I got to engage better. If you ain't engaging with me, I ain't engaging with you. Oh.
Say goodbye to your reading
They saying
glasses,
the Epstein
computer
files
glasses,
are
and even your
backfiring.
sunglasses. Introducing the last pair of
I'm playing this
glasses.
because I'm on Epstein ass. Like, maybe he need to
In high school,
rest
he was
in
voted
piss.
most likely to sleep in your backyard. Founder of Studio TST.com, comedian Michael.
It's all type shit. It's that Fox shit. They really lean on him.
Where I'm going. You don't know where I just hopped the next one out of town.
Yeah, with a can of beans and a rucksack. I didn't want to play Uno because I didn't want any foreign influences in my home. And there was no yeah. Michael.
Yes.
The other Michael.
NBA star, Frank. Let's get into this. We're gonna get back to Epstein's. But that boy, so it's interesting. Spaz, tell me about that joint. Grab that mic. Just tell me about that joint. So before I get into it, Frank Beverly, right? Patrick Beverly. So former NBA star Patrick Beverly was arrested. He was arrested twice. Am I correct, Spaz? Update me.
No, he's arrested once.
Once, but it's for putting his hands on his sister.
Yeah, child. Yeah.
And beat his sister up. So allegedly his 14-year-old sister was in a house with a man over 18 years old. He beat the man up. Typical for a big brother. Little sis. You know what they saying? My man. So y'all know the rest. Beverly, he's in jail. He's all over the news because he's in jail for assault his little sister. And we about to play the news. We about to give you the upset. We about to give it to you. The boy charge. I'm hurt about it. Here we go.
Well, a former Houston Rockets player is speaking out tonight after his arrest in Fort Bend County. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Daniela Guzman. Keith Garvin is off. Patrick Beverly was arrested at his home early this morning. He's charged with assault, family violence involving a household member. KPRC2 News reporter Shirley Peel
Texas got weird charges
about why Beverly's attorney says his arrest is a big misunderstanding.
Daniela, Patrick Beverly's attorney sent us a statement saying that he was defending his little sister at the time of that incident. Beverly is also cautioning the public about these allegations. Hours after bonding out of jail, Patrick Beverly posted on X saying, "Please don't believe everything you see on the internet. Hope all is well. Love." Fort Bend County deputies showed up to the former Rockets player's home before 4 a.m. Deputies say a situation transpired between family members, leading to a family violence incident. He was arrested and later made his $40,000 bond. Details about the crime are not clear. Beverly's attorney released a statement saying in part, he cares deeply about his little sister, a young lady, a minor. Given that when he unexpectedly found her alone in the home with an 18-year-old man in the middle of the night, he was understandably concerned as any brother would be about his sister. However, we don't believe what followed happened the way it's been described, and we look forward to the opportunity to address that.
However way it was described, he shouldn't be described with shit.
And Beverly's attorney adds
Your
that
motherfucking sister 14 years old, man. That boy 18 years old. He pop a baby in it. Then what? Then what? A black man is a whole black situation. And he went in there and handled his business, bro. You too old. It ain't like, oh, I caught my little sister with another 14-year-old, 15. I caught my sister with an 18-year-old, a legal adult, and she's 14-year-old, even in the 8th or 9th grade. And I slapped the shit out of both of them. And what did he do wrong? He my guy. You know what I mean? He slapped the shit out of both of them. He got down to business. You ain't ready to do that to my little sister. Yo, my little sister, let her mess with kids, guys her age. Yo, she not even old enough to date. Now, if she was 16, 17-year-old, 17, interested in a guy 2021, then I'd be like, yo, you tripping, bro. She about to be out of, you know what I mean? But 14 years old, bro, with an 18-year-old is out of order, bro. We can all agree with that, man. We can all agree with that. It's out of order. It's not right. It's not fair. It's not respectful. He shouldn't have got arrested. He shouldn't have got arrested, bro. That ain't fair to that man. Arrested that man. You know what I mean? He did what he needed to do. You know what I mean? Man ain't choking. So if he choking, that's my sister. Like, bro, that's my sister. Yo, that's a family matter, bro. Get out of that. Get out of that, bro. That's a family matter. It's my little sister. She out of order. If my little sister get pregnant, my little sister have an STD, or my little sister end up missing, none of y'all gonna do shit. None of y'all gonna do shit. It's gonna be me and my family issue. I ain't kill my little sister. I ain't do nothing, bro. I slapped the shit out of my little sister as I should have. It's my little sister. You feel me? It's my sister. Who wants their sister doing that, bro? You know what could happen. Your little sister don't know. She 14 years old. She ain't know. You know what I mean? She don't know. You know what I mean? She don't know. So I got to talk about this. This is one thing that's really been troubling me. And I know I'm late getting on top of this, but that's how it is. Chauncey Billups and who else? A couple dudes, man, been caught up in the NBA Mafia betting scandal. And that's very, very horrifying. That's very, very alarming, and it's very, very, very sad. You know, the Mafia is the oldest gang in the United States that been doing what they doing. You get what I'm saying? It's no problem with that. You know what I mean? Sports betting is something that we know a lot of underground organizations is getting involved in. In order for this sports betting to work, we've seen it in plenty of movies. You need a couple players on your side, coaches, referees. You know what I'm saying? It all gotta make sense. And throughout the week, we bringing in the money. Chauncey Billups making millions of dollars being a coach and made millions of dollars in his career. Everybody involved from the house out in, Vegas with Gilbert, all these dudes are financially straight. How did, a stand-up guy, Chauncey Billups, Hall of Famer, probably made the Hall of Fame twice. Hall of Fame for coaches, Hall of Fame for being a player. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. How did you get caught up in something to destroy your legacy? Because that is a true and a real, real big violation, because you got dudes out here to go to these casinos and go to these legal betting places and are simply getting fucked over because these bets are alive. You get what I'm saying? These bets are alive and these dudes are doing. And I told dudes that. I told them, man, Kenny used to fuss about that all the time. I said, Kenny, it is a betting world. So I feel like a lot of these games are fixed. At least the most important games are fixed. They are fucking fixed, bro, because at the end of the day, the betting companies, the big companies like FanDuel, Caesar Palace, they make billions of dollars monthly off of sports betting. So if these big, what you think the underground world don't want a part of this? Players getting paid XYZ. Hey, look, man, you throw this game, man. It's gonna be $3-4 million in your offshore account. You throw this game, man, it's gonna be $750,000 in your offshore account. You have an off day, man, you gonna make $10 million. I told dudes that, like, shit, man, these contracts ain't guaranteed. And I'm gonna tell you this, that's what the NFL, the NBA, the MLB get for making all this money, paying these players. That's what they get for a lot of undercover corruption that these billionaire owners do. But then you get a slicksters like the Mafia in there, man. They start sliding through the cracks and putting dudes in positions to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. And dudes want to make hundreds of thousands of dollars extra. Because like I said, these contracts ain't guaranteed if you get hurt and you beat up and, stuff like that, or you don't accelerate. So, man, you throw a couple games, 80 some, it's 16, 17 NFL games, 80 some basketball games, some baseball games. Just imagine, 10, 20 of them games, boy, you taking home an extra 500,000, extra 4, you know what I mean? Dudes is doing that, man. This is what it is. It should have never been legalized, honestly. Because with legal it comes scammers, and that's just how I feel about that. I truly feel that way. I feel that way. Like after that shit comes scammers, bro, and that's crazy. That's crazy. But Chauncey Billups, I was disappointed in him.
Boy, Shaq publicly condemned the arrest. Said he ashamed and stressed how damaging it is on sports integrity.
Oh yeah, you gonna have big dogs like you're gonna have big dogs like Shaq and Sir Charles and a lot of them. You're gonna have a lot of them dudes talking. A lot of those old school basketball players, and it do make sense because they like, yo, some dudes out there ain't with that shit. So they playing their heart out, and then these dudes with that shit. But at the end of the day, money green all around the board, from the NBA to the betting world. And I'm just telling you that betting money different. That bet money different. That betting money coming tax free for them. You know what I'm saying? Them joints getting them that $1 million, that $2 million. Just imagine when these dudes throw the games and they're big games and the big dog throw the game so the little dog can win. Come on, man. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Come on, man. It's too much. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I feel like, yo, come on, bro. You sacrifice your career and making millions of dollars throughout a period of time and your legacy to make, hundreds of thousands of dollars on the side. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy because you already there. But like I said, bro, it's hard to turn down. Just say on the low end, $100 grand, $100 grand 3-4 times a week. $100 grand 3-4 times a week by just to miss a few shots. And they ain't stupid, so it's like, yo, if we get caught for this, then it's gonna be this penalty. So I'm gonna need this. You feel me? Yeah. And I ain't gonna lie, the boys ain't gonna do nothing but resort to tell it. Because them dudes are NBA players, never been in trouble, been living a lavish lifestyle. Like, it ain't worth it. I'm saying the two biggest fish I feel like that's involved, and I know it's two separate incidents. It's like Gilbert Arenas and Chauncey Billups. Like, you know what I mean? Who else? What's the other guy? It was a few other players, but I know they're like the biggest names.
Former Trailblazers head coach, NBA legend, advocated poker ring that alleged used hidden cameras, counterfeit shuffling machines, X-ray tables to cheat.
I believe the casino used counterfeit shuffling machines. All that shit is fixed. Yeah, it's legalized for them. They're licensed to do it in whatever state, but come on. Sometimes the dealer pull rabbits out the hat, man. Like, come on.
It's the other side of it. That's what we was talking about. Terry Rozier, he accused of sharing non-public NBA information like playing early game exits with gamblers so bets could place on his unders and faking injuries. Different shit like that. So, selling games.
And how would you think that's work? If he was doing all that, the millions of dollars, because I know the feds reported a number, and I said that number was extremely low.
I know the boy Jonte Porter, his brother Michael Porter, played for the Nuggets, got a championship and all that.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first person to really go down, and they said he was doing it for like 100,000 or something. And they was just saying that's low, but it wasn't really low for him. That was like his contract probably like $1 million. Because he was like a low player, like he wasn't drafted.
7th, 8th man off the bench.
Right, but his brother is a star, so it's like, nigga, that's low for you, but you ain't no telling how many times he did it and got away. So they getting on him at a couple 100,000
per hit.
Yeah,
shit, and they play 2-3 games out the week.
Because what he did is he
read the mic.
What he did, what happened? All right,
it's on. The light blinking is on. Yeah, just unplug it because it's the red part. That's just showing you it's charging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll be on Jonte Porter. Yeah, the boy Jonte Porter. What he did is why these sports betting apps is pretty vicious is because what he did is he was on the app and he knew he was going to be on there. And he knew what his unders and over was. So what he did is he told his homies what it was going to be, what he was going to do, and told them to put a certain amount of money on it so they can win, blah, 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 X amount of money, the maximum amount. And that's what they did. And they end up tying everybody together and realizing that he did it. He masterminded all. Right. He didn't face no jail time, but he got banned from the NBA. But this other stuff is different. It's 30 people all together tied in for two separate rings. It's the poker ring and it's the actual red games. And but they all tying it together because
Gilbert and Chauncey, they tying that together?
Yeah, they tying everybody together because they saying the Mafia is running it. Whether it's the poker or it's the basketball, it's all intertwined.
With the Mafia.
They running it. And college basketball just got hit with something too. College basketball also got a big scandal with the Mafia too. That just dropped yesterday. So
what's that scandal about?
Hey, we might gotta play that too.
Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. Dang, bro, Barry Bonds just so ignorant. He said spit on the floor, N-word. Like they just be finding stuff to do. Damn, Barry. Barry, you tripping, Barry. He ain't even really hurt you, Barry. Like, go ahead, Barry. Say your racial slurs before you really get hurt, Barry. You know what I'm saying? You out of order, Barry. Like, Barry tripping. Barry tripping, bro. Barry, you out of order, Barry. We just gotta keep laughing at you, Barry. Like you are what you call extremely funny. You are what you call extremely funny. Extremely funny.
That's the NBA 31 play.
And for him to come down should tell you the importance of this historic case. I'm Christopher Rea, the Assistant Director in charge of the FBI New York Field Office. Today, as you've heard, our office conducted a massive nationwide takedown from 2 indictments of 34 defendants for their alleged involvement in 2 separate illegal poker and sports betting schemes where, as you heard, the odds were rigged in their favor. Among these defendants are 13 members and associates of the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese crime families, to include capos and soldiers from these families. Additionally, as you heard, current and former NBA coaches and players are also implicated, to include Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier. 3 of the named defendants are charged for their alleged roles in both schemes. This alleged illegal gambling operation hustled unwitting victims out of tens of millions of dollars and created a financial pipeline for La Cosa Nostra to help fund and facilitate their organized criminal activity. Victims were attracted to play alongside well-known professional athletes and coaches like Chauncey Billups, only to be unknowingly deceived through rigged shuffling machines, fixing the odds in their favor, as alleged, and as you just heard from the U.S. Attorney's Office. This alleged scheme wreaked havoc across the nation, exploiting the notoriety of some and the wallets of many to fund the Italian crime families here in New York. Let me be clear about this fact. The FBI has not and will never take their eye off the ball when it comes to Italian organized crime in this city, specifically the LCN and the 5 families here in New York. We are not going to permit any criminal enterprise, whether it be Italian organized crime, Asian organized crime, Eurasian organized crime. We are not going to permit any of those organized crimes, families, and organizations to operate in our city or our country, as evidenced by the 11 states that were also participating in this operation today. The FBI office here in New York remains committed to eradicating all unlawful revenue streams fueling this criminal activity. As with most cases we've worked, this is only the tip of the iceberg for the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office. Our LCN squad agents and analysts are continuing to work day and night with the Eastern District of New York to ensure members and associates of the 5 families cannot continue to wreak havoc in our communities. Today would not have been possible without the tireless efforts and dedication of the FBI New York Eurasian Organized Crime Task Force, which, as you heard, was led by Supervisory Special Agent Luke Hardison, and the Italian Organized Task Force, which was led by Supervisory Special Agent Mike Malahi. And coincidentally, Supervisory Special Agent Malahi is going out on a positive as he is retiring at the end of this month for 30 years of dedicated service to the FBI, and that deserves a hand.
That shit not with me. I ain't doing no hand. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's wild. And then the college scandal was 14 men, including athletes, been charged for their suspected roles in a multi-million-dollar illegal sports betting ring that has ties to the Mafia also. So it's just overall, that's 45 people. That's 45 people, bro. 45 people from the
And so
NBA
every
and college
week,
basketball.
you come to the
All
House floor
indicted.
now that you've returned from.
I don't know what the hell that was. It just got me like that. That
Allergy
police.
season, man.
Hey man, I don't know what the fuck that's about. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. I'm playing. Police shooting. That Brooklyn shit, they still talking about that. New York been going crazy on the crime lately, though. I ain't gonna lie. There's a lot of shit going on in New York. That's a hot motherfucker. Yeah. I ain't never, you know what I'm saying? Like when you look at the world news, bro, I be seeing so much shit going on in New York. It be New York on fire right now. You know what I'm saying?
Andy Mastro, let's take a listen.
Yeah, that's that Brooklyn shooting. That police shooting in Brooklyn, New York. Like that shit sparking. It's sparking tension. I want to get to the nitty gritty of it, like what they talking about with this.
A young police officer was shot. 2 other police officers injured in a car accident racing to the scene. The police commissioner will give you more of the details of what happened in the early hours of this morning. But we have just spent time with the officers, and particularly the officer and his family who was shot in this incident. And fortunately, he is doing well, and he has a loving and supportive family. The mayor is fully briefed in the loop on all aspects, and we are fortunate that all of these brave officers are doing well, and we hope and pray for them complete recoveries, and we're pleased to be able to spend time with them to thank them for their bravery and their service. You know, in the past 48 hours, we buried a fallen firefighter hero.
Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. We covering the Brooklyn shooting. Police officer, I think a man was killed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe to this channel. Please, please,
The
please.
incredible bravery and dedication of our uniformed services and what they do to protect us. In that sacrifice. We're grateful to the hospital staff here for their service and making sure that these young men and women in uniform get the care that they need. And we are, on behalf of the mayor and all New Yorkers, we thank them for their service, their sacrifice, and their bravery. And now I'll turn it over to the commissioner. Thank you.
Good morning. I am joined here by First Deputy Mayor Randy Mastro, First Deputy Commissioner Tanya Kinsella, Chief of Department Mike LaPetri, Chief of Patrol Phil Rivera, Chief of Detectives Joe Kenny, and Pat Hendry of the PBA. Today is another reminder of what's at stake when your NYPD officers come to work. They never know what will be on the other side of that door, but whatever it is, they face it with an uncommon valor that defines this department. The information that I'm about to provide is preliminary and it is subject to change. At this point, here's what we know. Just before 6 a.m. this morning, EMS responded to an unconscious male in front of 1046 Thomas S. Boylan Street in the Brownsville section of Brooklyn. Upon arrival, they could see a victim had been shot and they notified the NYPD. The victim, Leroy Wallace, was confirmed shot and pronounced DOA. And one shotgun shell casing was found in the vestibule of the building where we believe the victim was shot. We believe he stumbled outside to the sidewalk where he collapsed and where he was found.
It's getting sticky. Yeah, this that police shooting in Brooklyn, New York. They getting down to the nitty gritty, letting y'all know what happened. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. Before we tap out, we gonna get back to that Jeffrey joint. Cause I can't stay off of his ass.
Officers from the 7-3 precinct remained to secure the scene, one with the victim's body outside on the sidewalk, and one inside of the building with the shotgun shell casing. Then, approximately at 7:45 a.m., a male opens the door of one of the first floor apartments and fires at the officer in the hallway from close range with a shotgun, striking the officer on the left side of his face. His injuries are consistent with birdshot pellets being fired from a shotgun. Our cop returns fire, and the perp barricades himself back inside of the apartment. The officer, Sharheel Waris, 25 years old, was then rushed to Brookdale University Hospital Medical Center and is currently in stable condition. While responding to the call of an officer shot, 2 other officers from the 7-3 precinct were involved in a vehicle collision at the intersection of New Lots Avenue and Thomas Boylan Street. Both officers in the RMP, as well as the operator of the other vehicle, were also taken to Brookdale Hospital. All suffered minor injuries and are currently in stable condition. ESU officers then responded to the scene of the shooting, which was now a barricaded armed perp locked inside of an apartment, and they secured the perimeter. To get a better idea of what was happening inside, ESU was able to break a first floor window and they flew a drone into the apartment. Camera footage showed a male lying motionless on the kitchen floor with a shotgun on the floor near him. ESU then made entry into the apartment to render aid, and the perp was pronounced DOA on scene. At this time, we are not releasing the name of the perpetrator pending further investigation and family notification. Officer Waris is a 4-year veteran of the NYPD assigned to the 7-3 precinct. We met with him a few moments ago, and I am pleased to report that he is in good spirits. But make no mistake, this could have ended very differently. What happened this morning is a reminder of how quickly danger finds the men and women who protect this city.
Man, I'm gonna just say this with that, right? Man, hey, that boy, I'm glad the officer's okay. Rest in peace to that guy that died. But I'm gonna tell you something. After you ring some shots at the police, when they finish with you, you gonna feel like you did. You know what I'm saying? So hey, he whatever he was going through mentally, he lost his mind. And ain't nothing wrong with me saying that because that's what probably happened. If he could tell his story, like, man, I lost it. Financial support, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's different shit, different strokes for different folks. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I mean? But whatever he did, he went at the police, and that's pretty much the end of it. When you think you can scrap up and go at the police and you just a one-man army, man, that's pretty much that day. It's 2 things gonna happen that day. Well, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say 3 because I was locked up with a couple guys that been shot by the police before, so it's survival. But 3 things gonna happen: either they gonna kill you, right? Well, there's only 2 things gonna happen. They're gonna kill you, or they're gonna shoot you and you're gonna go to jail. So you're gonna die, you go to jail. But when you die and go to jail, just know when they finish with you with the jail sentence, you're gonna wish you would have died. I promise you that. I promise you that. That is probably one of the hardest things that you can go up against is the police. Any type of person that bears law enforcement, you go up against them and it's not a justifiable situation. Because I remember it was a situation where the police ran in the house, with plain clothes on and it got a shootout. I think that case, y'all could look it up. That case probably got, that was a different case. It's rare cases that go on where the police be really in the wrong and a shooting occur. That's one out of every 1,000. I'm gonna say 3 incidents like that may happen out of every 1,000 police shootings. So with that being said, man, when you go up against the police, you're going up against a serious problem. And just ain't no one man gonna beat them. Like ain't no one man with one gun is gonna beat the police. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm glad that those officers are okay. Rest in peace to that brother, who lost their life. And whatever that brother was going through, I don't believe in the psychiatrist shit and the therapy shit. But if you gotta get therapy, and I heard of thousands of people say therapy help, I heard thousands of people say therapy don't help. But before you go off the meat racket like that and go off the hinges, do yourself a just do favor, right? Do yourself a respectful just do favor. And that respectful just do favor will ultimately be, man, go get some help before you go up against the police department, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't seen nobody beat him yet. I seen them being charged. I seen some of them go down on TV, you know what I'm saying? Like, all that. But man, they got more wins than losses. You know what I mean? They leading the loss race 10-1. No one can beat them. You know what I'm saying? No one can beat them, I promise you. Let's go. Let's get back into this guy, Jeffrey Epstein. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment, man. You know what I mean? I had to tap in with y'all, man, to keep the motion and stay in the algorithm. I'm trying to push myself back in the algorithm. But let's go.
But the vote is still open, so don't go by that time clock. There are still 25 lawmakers left to cast their vote. As of now, it is unanimous. 407 lawmakers, Republicans and Democrats, saying yes to releasing the Epstein files.
It's over.
There's another no on your screen right now, but again, I would take that with a grain of salt because we've seen a few no's and they've changed to yeses. So until this vote is closed, lawmakers are allowed to change their mind. So keep an eye on it. We do expect it to last for a few more minutes. In fact, why don't I go to the source on this? Ali Vitale, how much longer is this going to last?
It'll last until whenever they decide to gavel it out. I do think that if the speaker was talking about this being unanimous, that he's going to make sure that everyone who's here has a chance to actually vote. When it comes to some of the no votes that have come up and then gone away, one of them was Ronnie Jackson of Texas, who came out here just a few moments ago and said, yeah, I made a mistake. I rolled back my vote. And so it's music to my ears every single time you say the vote isn't done until the gavel is down, because that is the rule of how we look at these votes here in Congress. As of right now, there is still one vote lingering on the screen. Again, we have seen those change in the past, but I'm watching to see if our team, who's inside the building right now, will chase this member
open,
to
Jeffrey.
see why he is voting no, and if it was a meaningful no, or if he just, like some of his colleagues before him, hit the wrong button as he was trying to cast his vote. But ultimately, I think what's important here is you're well over that 2/3 threshold, which was needed to pass this bill. It's not the typical way that we talk about it. It's not the simple majority, but it is the 2/3 majority, because they're doing this through a mechanism called suspension. It just means that it's not governed by a rule. That's typically the way every other bill moves to the floor. This was something that the speaker put on a faster timeline. He didn't wait for the discharge petition to fully ripen after it got 218 signatures. The speaker basically said, okay, the folks who want this are going to get it, and I'm going to move it up as fast as I can. And then
Good
course,
job.
over the weekend, we watched
What
the
up,
White
what
House
up, what up?
posture change, the posture of most Republicans, because even as they were leaving town, Katie, frankly, after they reopened the government in the middle and end of last week, many Republicans who I was speaking to, rank and file members who were nowhere near signing this discharge petition, were starting to tell me that they were likely to vote yes on this whenever it came to the floor. Obviously, those members were all having conversations with leadership. They were all having conversations with the speaker,
It's
making him
over.
aware of their plans. It's partly why I imagine you saw such a massive
Space.
wave of reversal, not just from House Republican leadership, but then also from those in the White House who could very much see the writing on the wall. And so again, I'll keep you posted on that one no vote as it exists right now. Our producer Seda is in the chamber, and that no vote right now is Clay Higgins, a Republican, very conservative member. We're going to see if we can't find him as he either leaves the floor or tries to walk out of this building, and see if we can't get an explanation on that, but I will keep you posted as we get it.
So we're waiting.
One idiot
it looks
voted
like
no.
they're getting
That's
close to
crazy.
gaveling out of this thing. There are 7 lawmakers who have not yet voted. Again, Clay Higgins remains a no. We'll see if that changes before the vote is closed. As Ali was saying, the speaker is likely to let everybody who is there get a chance to cast their vote. Again, we're now down to 5. Ali, the speaker, is he going to nod to the gentleman sitting up on the dais to tell him when to close it? And that again is that the president of the House, or is he? What's his official title?
Yeah, I would imagine. So I don't have the ability to see what you're seeing right now, but I would imagine that whoever is sitting in the chair is the one who's really going to be controlling when this vote is over. He will be watching a number of things, including whether or not those lingering 5 members have cast their ballot. There usually is a sense of attendance issues, if there are any. I haven't heard any of those whispers so far yet today, but we'll see ultimately what we see. I'm still checking my phone to see if we've gotten any explanation around Clay Higgins, so I'll keep tracking that. But yeah, I mean, this vote will end when it ends. I mean, whether the speaker nods to
It's
whoever
gonna
is sitting in
end.
the
The
chair, again, I'm
Epstein,
sorry,
the
I can't
Epstein
see what's
files are
happening.
getting
Yeah, that's a
opened
lot
up,
talking to
bro.
you, but
Just the way you have it, like God Almighty, official announces charges in deadly striker street fire. Official announces charge against man for deadly fire. That boy, one thing about Ivan Bates, he charging everybody. That Baltimore boy, Ivan Bates, he charging everybody. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a
It's
like,
ludicrous.
leave
Not
a
to mention the
comment.
public safety concerns that we have. He's going to drive the police out. He's not going to replace them. We're already down 7,000 cops in the city, so I'm concerned about public safety, quality of life.
So while New York City progressives cheer the election of an avowed
I'm happy them files open because I can't wait to. I'll be glad when they make them puppet records because I can't wait to read it and what everybody posted. I really can't wait. I can't wait to read it when everybody posts it. I can't. You know what I'm saying? All jokes aside, because Jeffrey Epstein was a fucked up dude. And what I want to get on this and what I was talking about yesterday, what I was explaining to people, R. Kelly caught 30 years in prison, right? Larry Hoover caught life sentence in prison. Jeff Ford, a lot of men, you know, of color caught a lot of time in prison, right? Very rare do you see these men and women commit suicide. Take the easy way out, because at the end of the day, either you did it or you didn't. And one thing about a man, when he didn't do something, or if he did it in a criminal justice system doesn't handle their business right, they look for a way out. They look for a way out. And killing yourself is one of the most hardest and difficult things I'm guessing a person can do. But when these guys, like, you know, certain dudes that commit these crazy acts, usually pedophiles and all types of murders and Hannibal crimes, they tend to go to prison and kill themselves, or tend to go to prison and get killed, you know. And I say that to say that they copped out. So it lets me know that if you can't fight for your freedom again, whether you was falsely accused or accused, because even if you did a crime, I've seen plenty of people in prison that did the crime, but they wasn't charged correctly and the court system didn't go by things the right way. So they filed the right paperwork and went through the motions and the process and gave their time back. I seen innocent men do it. I seen guilty men do it. You know what I'm saying? It's all in a day's worth of work, you know, giving your time back. But for a man to go inside a prison and just give up, like that lets me know that that man was wrestling with so much guilt and so much, just want to give up on life. They take the easy way and kill themselves. And that's what I believe that he did. You know what I'm saying? And then he held the secret to a lot of things. And these things are going to be exposed. And it's very, very sad. It's very, very sad. You know what I mean? But it's nothing that I truly care about. I'm not going to be honest. I don't care about the Epstein files, but I'm going to cover it because I'm a journalist and I want to talk about this because there were so many journalists that cover our stories. I mean, from the R. Kelly story to the Diddy story. Now they're going crazy with the Dirt story to the Jay Foley story to the goddamn Wine Melly story. Every time people of the culture get in a situation, it is just mass media talking about it. So I'm just encouraging, urban content creators, tackling some of these stories. You know what I mean? Because these stories are really horrifying. They're horrifying. We got to do what the rest of the media do. We got to raise awareness on that because there's a lot of dirty old men out there like Jeffrey Epstein. There's a lot of dirty old women like, his assistant that got a bunch of times that don't care about humanity and they deserve what they deserve and they get what they get. God don't like ugly. It was written. It was written. It was written. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? Just like everybody was just laughing at everything with other people going through trials and tribulations and, they don't care, but he was found guilty and sent to prison. So people don't care when you found guilty. When you found guilty, they just felt like 12 people heard the whole story and you got found guilty. So how should we feel for a person that got found guilty, especially a person that got found guilty with crimes like the Epsteins? You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like I said, but they crucified a lot of great, people, whether they did it or not. And hey, those people, what I'm saying is R. Kelly and everybody we know, from Larry Hoover to R. Kelly to anybody that committed crime in the United States of America and is found guilty, you go to jail. Now, after you go to jail when you get arrested, you go to prison when you get convicted. So once you go to prison, all those men, whether they having a hard time or a good time in prison, they ain't kill themselves because you convicted me today. I can appeal it tomorrow and fight to the end. Which end you can do that. That's very understandable. You can fight to the end. But to go to prison after you did all this ignorant, nasty stuff and to kill yourself, that was a cowardly act. And let's talk about it. Jeffrey Epstein went to prison and committed suicide, or whether he even got killed. Karma spent the bin on him. You know what I mean? Karma spent the bin on him. And at the end of the day, they deserve it. You deserve it. So what I want to see out of this whole Epstein thing is outside of, the president of the United States, let's just, forget about it. I know a lot of people in it to see what's the president. And I'm like the rest of the people. I want to see too. But I want to see everybody else outside of the president who was in on this, who been smiling, who been running around, who been acting like they just so people person and love people and all that, and get a couple drinks in them and get their drugs in them and go around here and be a certified sleazeball, a certified pedophile. That's what these dudes are doing, dealing with children under the age of 18. Dealing with young girls, you know what I mean? Like it's not 21 and over clubs out here. It's like it's not a 30 and over club. It's not a 25 and older club. But they didn't care because they thought they didn't get caught. And after Epstein, killed himself or whatever happened to him, whatever way that God saw fit for his death to happen, years later, just talking about the files. It was shut down. Biden didn't open the files. Everybody was just closing that chapter of it. And now they are open up. They are 5 votes away from just agreeing to bust those files open, and it is going to be a media frenzy. TMZ, NBC News, MSNBC, Fox, CBS, RDP, keeping it a G. Sidebar. Everybody is going to dig into the crates of that Epstein files. And I'll be right there with it because I want to see, this closet. They say, people put a lot of stuff in the closet. Yeah. I cannot wait till this closet is open up. Yeah. What about y'all? I cannot wait until this closet is open up with this Epstein files. It's been too long because guess what? The Larry Hoover files were open. Jeff Ford files were open. The Martin Luther King files were open. The Malcolm X files were open. The goddamn R. Kelly files are open. The Diddy files are open. Everybody files are open. And now we finally see Jeffrey Epstein files is open. And you make me feel so good. Yes, I want to see it. I want to see it. All the money you make, all the private jets, all that stuff you did, man. And one thing for sure, and two things for certain, I'm not God. The man has been taken away from the earth. Mr. Epstein has been taken away from the earth. He's dealing with his internal fire the way he's dealing with his eternal fire. I don't know if God forgave him. Y'all don't know if God forgave him. But one thing we do know here on the shores of North America, matter of fact, he's getting people, the Epstein files are getting people kicked out of the royal family. So this thing is huge. This thing is over the water where, dudes are getting stripped of their royal family rights. So you don't think that he's hot? You don't think that he's pissed? Oh, the royal family got the business. Oh, you stripped of everything. Get the fuck away from us. You don't have nothing to do with us. That's what they did. Now is the land of the free turn. And them boys on Capitol Hill voting to drop them files. I think that voted. No, that was just an update like 20 minutes ago that we listened to. It's 5 more people, but it's looking real good. The files are going to be dropped. The files are going to be released, and the world can see. Just like y'all go look at Lord Dirt paperwork, y'all going to go look at YNW Melly paperwork, y'all going to look at everybody's getting knocked off paperwork. Y'all watch the Death Penalty channel. Y'all watch everything. Jeffrey Epstein has got his karma. But those files, Jeffrey Epstein assistants got her karma, begging for a pardon from the president, right? Now, all of those creeps that was co-conspirators in the creep show are all now about to be exposed through these files, which is truly, truly, truly a blessing for the victims. That these people won't get to run around with no mask on no more. And hey, I don't know none of the victims personally, and I'm quite sure none of the victims are from our culture. But that doesn't make it right. And that doesn't mean that I'm a turn the other cheek. I was riding down the street one day. Wasn't that you with me, Spaz? We was riding in that $1 million neighborhood on the way to the auction. And the old wealthy lady fell. Remember? It was raining, right? Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all something. True story. It was raining, and we taking the back roads, and the back roads coming from where I live at, is a very, very, very wealthy area. So we're riding down the streets, and I like to ride down the street, sometimes because I like to daydream, man. If I live 10, 15 minutes away from here, one day I'm gonna be right here. So we riding down the street and we just driving. We see a older white lady with a dog. She's walking up the street. When we coming down the street, she's walking up the street, and the roads are really pretty slippery, but slippery for a woman. She had to be in her late 70s, early 80s. She slipped and fell. Boom! Like one of them commercials. I fallen and I can't get up. I pulled over. I said, oh shit, the lady fell just the way my grandmother raised me. I pulled over, jumped out. Hey, miss, you okay? This lady, Caucasian lady, is laying on the ground, bro. While I'm walking towards her, I say, "Is you okay?" She says, "Yes." She can't get up. Me, I picked her up. Man, when I picked her up, she was shaking. I picked her up. I said, "Boom, you okay, ma'am?" She said, "Okay, thank." She looked at me. When this lady looked at me, she looked at me of, it has been 80 years of ignorance in her mind of different cultures. But that day, I know to this day, she's talking about it. Hey, one day I fell in the middle of the street. And when I fell in the middle of the street, a guy from that culture that we can't stand, that built everything up, that we built these nice houses off the back of his granddaddy, picked me up out the middle of the street when I fell. I know every day, I know she don't even look at us that way no more. I know everywhere she goes, she's smiling. And I know one thing, she didn't forget my face. And I know I'll probably never see that old lady ever again in life. And I wish her truly well. But that day, God set out in the book for her to get a reality check. And that reality check didn't come with no money. That reality check came unexpected. That reality check came from Mother Nature. Because the rose was slippery and she fell. And one of Allah and one of God's greatest creation is the man and the woman of color. And I'm a man of color. And I was raised up by my grandmother. And I was raised up respectfully, loving and caring. And despite things that I did in my past that was of the ignorant culture, because I was ignorant at one time, I had good in my heart not to let the past history that my culture been to not allow me to not allow me to conduct myself in a way I was raised up. And I was raised up by my grandmothers. I was raised up by older women, and I was taught how to be a gentleman, and I was taught how to show respect and have some type of love in your heart for the people that live longer than you, your elders. And I jumped out that car. My nephew was with me. I jumped out that car and I handled my business as a grown man. And that's what it was. So Jeffrey Epstein and his friends had lavish parties that you couldn't imagine, had lavish weekends, private jets and everything. And ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing wrong with that. But they did it, right? They hurt people that other people got to deal with, that they've been violated before. They did that. When you violate women in that manner at that young age, you create prostitutes. You create women that have mental issues. You create bad mothers. You create bad wives. You create monsters, and you create insecurity. You know what I'm saying? You do all that when you do those acts against children, that these young ladies that will become women one day and have to deal with that in the back of their mind. So the consequence for that is a life sentence in prison. The consequence with that, and I'm not God. And like I said, no one, you shouldn't put a man's life in your hands. Let God do that. But as a human being, we're human. Humans put matters into their own hands. Whether you are murdered or whether you killed yourself. Whatever it was, your guilty conscience and your karma allowed that savage beast to enter your life for all the nights of the cocaine, the drug use, and the party. And all you could do with your time, with your expensive places, is provide underage women and violate them. That's what happened with the Epstein thing, because they broke down the Diddy stuff. Hey, R. Kelly is a convicted ex-offender. He's convicted of it. He's got his 30 years. He's sent to prison. 12 juries of his peers found him guilty. Sean Diddy Combs, 12 jurors of his peers found him not guilty of horrifying charges. He was found guilty of the Mann Act, and under the jurisdiction in the court of law, the federal court, he was sentenced to 50 months. Thank you, Spaz, for that. He was sentenced to 50 months. He's reaped what he sowed. Karma came and spent the bin, but the man was found not guilty of the things that he didn't do. That's what the courts say, whether we believe he did it or whether we believe he didn't do it. The court of law, 12 people of his peers found him not guilty of certain things that he was accused of. And he was found guilty of the things that they believed that he was involved in. So it takes it back. Larry Hoover, he got his time in jail for whatever. Everybody gets their time in jail, bro. Everybody gets their time in jail for the crimes that they commit. What's in the dark come to the lights. And now these Epstein files are being pulled to the world. It has nothing to do with hip hop. It has nothing to do with the back blocks. It has nothing to do with the trap. It has nothing to do with the African American community, the Hispanic community. It has nothing to do with what we face every day in the urban culture. But when you from the urban culture and you're a journalist like myself, it has every fucking thing to do with it. Yes, I'm covering it. I cannot wait to read these Epstein files. I can't wait to see some of the people that's smiling in our face on TV, that's smiling at somebody facing around somebody's children and acting like they are a good person. They have these hidden demons. And like I said, God forgives. A lot of humans don't. So some of these guys might have did this stuff because you're not talking about nothing that happened yesterday, but we're talking about things that happened in, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, all the way into 2019 when it just blew up and they charged the man and he, whatever. What year was that when Jeffrey Epstein got arrested? When in 2019? Yeah. Can you look it up? 2019. So Jeffrey Epstein, he was under investigation for like a year because I know this Epstein shit has just been in the air since, Donald Trump was running the first time for office, which was in 2016. So this Epstein thing and this sleazeball Epstein guy has been floating around the media and controversy for a while, but it hit the fan when he was actually brought in and charged and convicted. What year was that? 2019. What year was he convicted and what year was he deceased? You know what I mean? What year was he convicted? What year was he deceased? If he got charged in 2019 or was he convicted in 2019? You know what I mean? So that's what it is. Was he charged?
He killed himself in 2019. In the same year, a month later.
He killed himself a month later in jail?
Yeah, he was arrested.
He was arrested, so he didn't face trial.
No, he was arrested in July. Killed himself in August.
What a sleazeball. Shout out to you, Zombie. So listen, this is the part of the podcast where I like to interact with my 131 people that's in the chat. Shout out to y'all. Drop your location. Please tell me where you from. My name Hand 5000. I'm from Baltimore City, Northwest Baltimore to be exact. Grew up on Wrightstown, Virginia. Stomped on Libby Heights and Garrison, man. Wrightstown, Virginia. My birthplace, Libby Heights and Garrison, my stepping stone. True story. I'm from Northwest Baltimore. Drop your location in the comments. Tell me where you from. Please just tell us where you from. We would like to know who we talking to, and we would like to show that support back to you. So, hey, just tell us where you from. Drop your city. Are you from California, North Carolina, South Carolina, East Coast, West Coast? Let us know in the chat right now. Hit that notification button. Hit that subscribe button. Drop a like. Leave a comment. So, hit that notification button. Hit that subscribe button. Drop a like. Leave a comment. So, I feel like Washington, D.C. was good. That's the car right there, the homies. So I feel like in the bottom of my heart is that, this Epstein guy and his co-defendants that was squatting up and violating the rights of beautiful, innocent women that were under 18 or even adult women that was, didn't want to, be involved in that. This is coming to the end. And I thought Epstein, because that's how much I don't care about it. That's how much I don't care about it. I didn't know that he didn't face trial. That coward got out of there because he had something hot. You know what I mean? Cherry Hill, what's good? Ball out, what's good? Oakland, California, what up, man? What up? What up? What up? What up? So he killed himself and just went on a meat racket. So now it's making sense to me. That's why I like to get on here. And like I said, I am not a research junkie. I do my research. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a research junkie, but I do my research. And Jeffrey Epstein is not important where I come from. And whatever happens with the files and the people that gets arrested and get charged and get sued, it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect what I'm going through. It doesn't affect my community. But again, I'm a journalist. And my platform is RDP. And I've been in the game 7 years. And I like to cover hip-hop, urban community developing different things. And this is one thing that my man Keeping It the G News, shout out to Sean, man, Stand Up Baltimore. We always supporting each other. At least there's a community of us that do. I got into this blogging situation. So what I do is, my sauce is, I let everybody report on stuff, just like the NBA, Chauncey Billups, they got arrested last week or the week before last. I could have did it. I did a little something on it, but I listen, all the platforms, I read, I catch stuff, and then I come and give you my opinion. I'm not about to be the guy that said this paperwork and that paperwork and this. I can't do it. I don't care about it that much. But if you ask me what year did Snoop drop his first album, or who was in BDP or something like that, or you ask me where to get the free turkeys at for Thanksgiving, or where your kids could get some type of assistance, or where you could get, you can ask me stuff like that, and I'll give it to you all day. You know what I mean? But this Jeffrey Epstein things has just been really, really, really on my mind, because I sit and I watch so many news, podcasts, radio stuff, SN radio, and I see the way that they crucify my people. And I see my people jump on top of our people, and I'm guilty of it too, and use our people as the thumbnail and use our people as the hitch. And then when these big cases go on in the other cultures, we'll just say ha 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 and blah 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 blah, and nothing happens. You know what I mean? And nothing happens. You know what I mean? We don't cover the big stories that MSNBC cover, NBC, CBS, Fox. We don't cover those stories because they're uninterested in us and they don't matter. You know what I mean? And that is true indeed. But to me, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It gets my interest because I watch National Geographic, A&E. I watch so much educational stuff and just so many documentaries. So I'm a journalist. So I gotta cover it. And I said to myself that my platform, Raw Dope, the rawest and dopest content on the planet. Cardinal rules, no fuck shit, no fake shit, no foolishness. Anything you say can and will be used against you on the internet. That's my G code. That's what I live by, and that's what I die by. So with that being said, all I do is give my opinion. And I got my own opinion, dog. And my opinion is that we watch R. Kelly Crown TV and be crucified. We watch so many. We just watch Queso on TV being crucified. We watch so many people that look like us, dressed like us, and can relate to us, get crucified on all of these news stations and channels. And we report it along with these news channels and these vloggers and these podcasters. We just jump on top of our people and we know it all, and we talk about it in the barbershop. But when you got a sleazeball like this who's making movies, that's what Epstein's known for, movies, right? But I'm just saying, what is he famous for? Look it up. What did Epstein get his money from? How did he become successful? Because I don't know nothing about the guy. Just like a lot of these people from these big platforms, Fox and all that, they don't know nothing about us. But they go do a little research and they give their own opinion, and boy, they got the whole world looking at us like we crazy. Believe that. So hey, I'm a journalist. I'm qualified, certified, degreed up. 7 years in the game, working on my 8th year, on my way to 10K. And please hit that notification, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment, like this video. Why are you staring at the camera and looking at this young black man from Baltimore, you won't like my video. I ain't talking dirty. Hey, what did I say bad about Epstein? What did I make up about Epstein? All I'm doing is letting you hear Epstein people, his culture, talk about him, tell us what's going on. They're in the house voting on dropping the files. And I want to be like the rest of them. Look at it. I want to study it. And then I want to give my opinion about it. Because everybody gives the opinion about my culture all the time. You know what I mean? So we giving our opinion about the Epstein. So the files are being dropped. It's 5 votes that didn't go in. And by the time we click it back on, it might be done. And now his people, his friends and, the people that's at the yacht club and the Ritz-Carlton clubs and the private jet people and the people that don't have to work hard their whole fucking life. They about to put all of them out there. And hey, I'm a journalist. I do hip hop content. I cover news, sports, and entertainment. But my thing is hip hop. My thing is doing real interviews with real people in real time, covering the underground scene. Because I ain't been to Hollywood. I ain't from Hollywood. I ain't trying to get to Hollywood, but I'm trying to get about 50 miles away from Hollywood. If you get my drift, don't let that go over your head. I'm not trying to get to Hollywood, but I'm trying to get 50 miles away from Hollywood. You know what I mean? We just trying to get some money. That's it. We just trying to get some money because, 50 miles is a good distance away from it. But if you anything closer in a 10-mile zone, I don't want to make it that far. I don't. I really don't. I'm too old for that shit. Hollywood is different. And thank God that I've been living it long enough to realize that independent films, independent podcasts, independent content creators, independent, graphic art, mass media, is so many independent entities that have reached $1 million status, that has, a 80 credit score to a 600-700 credit score, that's able to get funding for projects that do pretty good on these great platforms to spread it all across the world, to get our content, to get our docs out, to get our movies out. You get what I'm saying? Shout out to Third World Studio, Digital Empath. Always got to appreciate the umbrella. But I'm a journalist, so I have to cover the Jeffrey Epstein thing. This is just my little thing. I'm not going to get too deep into it. It's not, I won't even be on it at the end of the week. But at least a couple times out the week, as the files are revealed, I will check it out. I'll let everybody else do all the work, and I'll just copy off their paper and give my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Everybody will do all the great journalist, lawyer, detective work, and after they do that, I put it all in my pot. I put it all in my big pot. And I make a pot of gumbo. I rationalize about it. It's all in my head. Beep. I give my own opinion. That's it. They'll never say, Rod Doe podcast is the guy that broke it. Nah, I ain't breaking no stories. I'm just giving my rights of being an American and being allowed to create content and put it on the platform. I'm just giving my own opinion. I break artists. I break, ex-convicts for still. I break business people, people that. But when it comes to these rich guys, I just give my opinion about those sleazeballs. That's all I do. I'm not going to lie to you. And Jeffrey Epstein is the leader of the sleazeballs. Is the leader of the stuff that you just walked on when you went to a dog park by mistake. They are pieces of you know what I mean? And it no matter if it's any culture, if you engage in that type of activity, you are a slum bag. You are a sleazeball. You are a piece of shit. You know what I mean? And that's just to be honest with you. And the whole world feels that way. It's not just me. Us law-abiding citizens, us regular citizens, us honorable people, we know. We know. Us honorable people, us regular people, we know. But Jeffrey Epstein is a sleazeball. He was the leader of the sleazeballs, and he did Either his sleazeball friends moped him out and set it up like it was suicide, or he was either horrifyingly murdered or he murdered himself, which is even worse. He wasn't going to stand trial and face it. And guess what he did? He said, without saying it, I am guilty. And guess what? This is what cowards do. You face it. You, and you. You go sit in a cell for longer than 30 days. You go face this stuff. I'm out of here. They say they can't hear me. Somebody say they can't hear me. Get closer to the mic. I'm closer to the mic. Can you hear me? Oh, man, I ain't going for that. It's a man right here. How you can't hear me? Your phone. Cut your phone up. You know what I mean? Cut your phone up. Okay, that mic is sensitive and you're fuzzing in and out. Sounds like keep away from your mouth a little bit. My man, I like that. You know what I mean? I'm like that. I keep it away. Turn it up fast. So can you still hear me? I'll keep it away. You know what I mean? 268 people in the chat, man. Hey, we going bolo like that. How you feel about this, man? We going bolo. We going bolo. Please hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment, man. And thank you so much. Hey, I appreciate the help because you're not ignorant. Any help, but can you do me a favor? Can you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification button? And if you want to be even nicer, it's a Cash App down there. Donate to the channel. We're trying to get some new cameras. We're trying to just get some things and get out in the community. My producer is my nephew. It's like we like flipping. He's like, man, I got to do this. So, you know, I got to do it. You know, that's what the team say. I got to do it. But hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. And what we was talking about, if you just getting in here, the Epstein files, Patrick Beverly, the police shooting in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? The Mafia gambling. That's what we've been covering. But the Mafia gambling, that's our potatoes. The Patrick Beverly story, that's our collard greens. The Jeffrey Epstein story, that's our steak. The Brooklyn shooting, police shooting involved shooting in Brooklyn, that's our dessert. And anything else we talk about, that's our drink. But the main course of this episode, Jeffrey, the sleazeball deceased Epstein. Jeffrey, the sleazeball deceased Epstein. They dropping the files, baby. Let's see what Congress talk. I can't get enough. You know, you got to keep up with them. You know, NBC News and all these news flashes, they drop so fast. 5K watching a House vote to release Epstein files. House passes bill to release Epstein files. Here it is. Let's see what this guy got to say. Come on, y'all. Hit that notification button. Hit that subscribe button. Drop a like. Leave a comment.
Been there for you for nearly 50.
Drop a like. Leave a comment. Come on, man. Run the likes up, man. Come on, man. Run the likes up, man. Come on. Run the likes up, man. It's 253 of y'all really in here. Run the likes up. Like the video. Bop, bop, bop. That's how you do. Double tap, please. Come here and violate the hell out that button. Tap, 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 tap. Jeffrey Epstein, that like button. Jeffrey Epstein, that like button right now. Violate that like button. No disrespect to the victims. I'm sorry. But I'm just saying I got 232 people in here. And all I'm asking is for a like. They don't want to donate. The Cash App is up there. They don't want to buy t-shirts. The t-shirts is up there. They don't want to buy the little gifty gift. That's all up there. But hit that notification button. Hit that subscribe button. If you don't want to hit none of that, like the video. 353 people in here.
ERA. I strongly urge my colleagues to vote no on the resolution, and to my Republican colleagues, I urge you to think twice about the consequences of this action.
I gotta go use the bathroom.
Setting this chaotic precedent. I yield back.
Gentleman from California yields. The gentleman from Arkansas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And since my colleague mentioned the SPEED Act, which we'll be marking up in committee on Thursday, even though it's not on the floor today, I'll put in a shameless plug for our bipartisan legislation. that is not only tech neutral, but it's agnostic to the project type. It would definitely help us produce more energy in America, and it will also help us to build things in America again, something we desperately need to do. And we will debate that Thursday, and hopefully someday we'll be out here debating it on the floor. But as we look at this particular RMPA that is on the floor today, because the Biden administration, on their way out, pushed something through by rule that they could never get passed into law. And a CRA, I remind you, is so that Congress can exert its legislative authority over an administrative agency or over an administration. And I would remind future administrations not to make dumb rules when you're going out the door, or somebody in Congress will be standing here, maybe on the other side of the aisle, doing a CRA to turn back the rulemaking ability that is not lawmaking.
My bad, y'all. That boy faking. The Epstein files. They saying Congress voted on this, so I'm gonna have to wait till after 6 to give y'all on that. I'm gonna have to give y'all at the 6 because the Epstein files are just not. They're not registering yet, bro. If you want me to read. Let's get into that. I'm not gonna read it out loud because you didn't like the video. You ain't donate nothing. The ghetto. Now I'm talking to my culture. This is what we mean when we say on RDP in the description and more. This when we just go bobo. The only way that the community gonna change, and I'm talking about the projects, the trailer park, the back blocks, the traps, the urban communities, whatever word you want to use it. The only way that we gonna gain traction and get it back together is we have to take pride in where we come from. We have to start with that. For all my project people, here's not the most prettiest place in the world. Start by cleaning that up. For all my back block people, start by cleaning that up. To the houses, to Chicago, start by cleaning up the community. Start by showing pride in what we already got and take what we got and build on it. Take what we got and build on it and stop asking. Everything that we need, we got. We got people, doctors that ain't even been classified as doctors. We have lawyers that ain't even been certified lawyers. We have people that's good with their hand and good with their brains. They got the same color skin tone as me and you. We gotta build. It's one thing that I watch a guy on YouTube and he said this. Everything you need is outside, because most of us, I grew up in the ghetto, but we most of the time had backyards and my grandmother had gardens. We had to start gardening. Bro, if you can grow your fruits and veggies, you can start growing medicine. The soul is the same place. Those places that we look at and we laugh at and think it's a joke, bro, we can grow fruits, orange, and veggies there. We have to start taking pride on where we come from and build on it. That's where we got to start at. And once we start right there, we will become impeccable. We will become the biggest show on earth, the biggest culture on earth, because everybody want to be like us, dress like us, sound like us, but us. You know what I mean? It ain't them knocking us off. Yeah, we know the history. We come from the slave plantation. We were brought from the islands and different parts of the world here. But that's a story 100 years ago that we can't forget about it. And that's the plan that was set in place. The plan that was set in place was hundreds of years ago. We going to enslave these people. They had a plan for 2025. They had a plan for the year 2020. We didn't. We didn't have a plan. So now I'm saying it's 2025. It's 75 years. It'll be what? Year what? 25 in 75 years, it'll be what?
2500.
Yeah, 2500.
2100.
2100. In 75 years for 2100. So if we take this mentality at the end of the year in 2025, in 75 years, our grandkids and our legacy will be laid long, because we can't build a dynasty overnight. And me and you might not live to see the dynasty, but we'll live to see the process, and we involve ourselves. So that's one thing that we gotta do, just coming from the hood, man, so the kids can see the future. And children are beautiful, whether they white, black, Spanish, Asian, Puerto Rican, Haitian, it doesn't matter. People are beautiful. You know what I'm saying? People are beautiful, but one thing for sure and two things for certain, other cultures get together and take care of themselves. It's nothing wrong with white pride. It's nothing wrong with black pride. It's nothing wrong with Asian pride. It's nothing wrong with Puerto Rican pride. It's nothing wrong with Dominican pride. It's nothing wrong with Arabic pride. It's nothing wrong with loving your nationality. It's nothing wrong with loving your people, but you and your people shouldn't hurt other people. You and your people shouldn't look down on people that don't got. You and your people should take care of you and your people and stay over there. The same suggestion that I got for my people. And if my people got their shit all the way together and your people got your shit all the way together, we could trade. We could make money, we can make moves, but we got us and y'all got yours. When one of ours get out of order, we check them. You know what I mean? Because when ours get sick, we know how to take care of them. The same thing y'all do with y'all. If y'all need our assistance, we'll be there for you. That's the way the world supposed to go. And then, you know what I mean? It'll be interacting. Hey, you know, black kid might fall in love with a Asian. A white girl might fall in love with a Dominican. Nobody should be judged about that. But just us as a culture need to do more as a culture, man. That's all I'm saying. That's why my platform, I don't look down. I don't bring my Jeffrey Epstein, I do. But, you know, my people, I don't look down. Yeah. See, church boys getting pulled to the side. They say super chat $25. I mean, you gave me $25 and somebody super chat me 20. No, I would have popped up in the cash part. Super chat $25. Yeah, super chat $25. Kevin Jackson. I appreciate that. Hey, I got 506 people in here. If I could just get super chats on up, yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. Give me the super chats. Somebody got a 100 cents a gift. Appreciate that. I got one gift. I appreciate that. Send me a gift. Whatever, man. Break me in the algorithm. 506 people in here. You know what I mean? Let's work. Let's work. Let's eat. There's a black in our Trump's name. Oh, here we go. We got something. We got something on them Epstein boys.
Means knowing where to get the
We got something.
So we don't miss.
Yeah, something.
Yesterday, I said to you, I'm not falling for Donald Trump's I now want full transparency on the Epstein files. I said, I believe him, but it's only because he realized it's going to pass. Ooh. Republicans are going to vote in the House, almost certainly, to release the files, and Trump can't be seen as trying to block that when Republicans have decided they're going to try to pass it. However, I also said, although speculatively, I could imagine how maybe Trump is doing this because he's made some behind-the-scenes deal for his name to be removed or whatever. We don't have evidence of that, or at least we didn't yesterday. But now it's starting to look like that might indeed be what is going on. We now have reporting that the FBI is blacking out Trump's name from the Epstein files, as in the FOIA team flagged it, applied the privacy exemption, scrubbed it before the releases even made it anywhere. Bloomberg has the sources. And when you put this next to Donald Trump's wild posting sprees on Truth Social and his disjointed and disoriented speeches yesterday, it starts to look a lot less like, wow, Trump is bravely demanding the truth. And it starts to look more like Trump has figured out a way to get government to bend over backwards to protect the guy who kept screaming that he's really the victim here, rather than all of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. So here's the picture that's coming together now. The FBI's FOIA team allegedly has redacted Trump's name from the files. Not because he was president. They say it's because in 2006, he was a private citizen. So suddenly, the most powerful man in the world gets the privacy protection of just being a random guy back in 2006. Give me a break. Number two, the DOJ and FBI leadership then say, we're done. No further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. Remember that? And we said, this doesn't make any sense. And then Trump's base gets angry and goes, this is sounding like a cover-up. Even Joe Rogan said they're gaslighting on this Epstein stuff. When you've lost Rogan on a Trump-related conspiracy, you know that it's getting bad. And then now it comes full circle, where Trump says, let's release the files. We do want transparency. And of course, if your name was blacked out by the FBI before the files even went upstairs, now all of a sudden you can say you're for transparency because you've got the edits already. And then
That's how you feel.
we have this video, which I've played for you before. This is a
got his name
DOJ
blacked
deputy
out for a
chief
reason.
on hidden camera saying, of course they're going to redact Trump's name and probably other Republicans as well. Now, do I trust this guy specifically? Well, maybe not. But this is hidden camera video where he is acknowledging, of course, this is what they're going to do. And it is now comporting and coinciding with Bloomberg reporting.
Those files do exist.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of pages per file.
By the way, this is Joseph Schmidt, acting deputy chief, Office of Enforcement Operations, DOJ.
They'll redact every Republican or conservative person in those files and leave all the liberal Democratic people in those files.
I think did that Maxwell person.
Yeah.
And also involved.
Got transferred to a minimum security prison too,
Oh.
which is against AP policy because she's a convicted sex offender, operator or something. Keep it Russia.
That was the acting All right. Now you could say this came from James O'Keefe. I don't trust James O'Keefe. I don't necessarily trust this Schmidt guy. Healthy skepticism makes sense, especially when we're dealing with James O'Keefe. But we now have Bloomberg. First of all, it comports with logic and common sense of what Trump would do. And it now is being corroborated by Bloomberg reporting. You've got internal conflict, political pressure, Bondi pretending that her big file release wasn't just recycled material from the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. And at some point, it's no longer tinfoil hat. And it's like, obviously, they're doing something here. Now, you don't have to believe, nor am I claiming there is a grand conspiracy. I'm not saying there's a secret edited version of the files that Trump personally approved. It's just a pattern. When the Epstein documents get close to touching Trump, the government finds a way to slam the brakes, and they say we need privacy protections, or Trump was a private citizen in 2006, or he was president, or so now I'm comfortable saying we have multiple sources suggesting the Epstein files are being scrubbed clean for Trump as the political pressure has gotten too much. Republicans are saying they're going to vote today to release the files, and Trump had to say, yeah, release them. And he's planning on being protected in some other way. If Trump actually wanted transparency, by the way, he could sign a privacy waiver today and tell the FBI, release every single mention of my name. He could do that, but he won't. Because for all of the yelling about full transparency and full disclosure, the only disclosure that's happening right now is a black Sharpie over Donald Trump's name. So I said yesterday, might they do this? I would need to wait before I suggest it. And in comes Bloomberg with corroborating evidence. What do you think? Make sure to like this video and share it. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We're pushing to 3.5 million subscribers. But let me know what you think. Leave a comment. Why is Trump really now saying release the files? All right. Awesome new sponsor to talk about, Wild Alaskan Company. They do sustainable seafood memberships. I got one of these boxes, and it is just phenomenal. The whole point with Wild Alaskan Seafood is that it's 100% wild caught. It's never farmed. It's from sustainably managed fisheries in Alaska, frozen at the peak of freshness, and then delivered to you. They've got 3 curated boxes, the wild salmon box, the wild whitefish box, and the wild combo box. I got a box that had everything beautifully vacuum sealed. The fish comes in pre-portioned fillets. We had crab, we had scallops. I know I should have said scallops. It's just not for me. I love scallops, okay? delicious and sustainable. They have a sustainable supply.
Now I play the commercial. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment, man. The Epstein files is being revealed. And that's what I said. They revealing them files and they held them files on a while. Trump name ain't gonna be in that shit. Them everybody else going down but him. This is about to be a real messy thing in Capitol Hill. I promise y'all, I'm 100% factual that it's gonna go ballistic, man. Like, and I honestly say, bro, like I'm glad, like I keep repeating this. I'm just glad that this is getting exposed because you gotta say this. This year, we had controlled the media with so much negative shit. So much negative shit. Hip hop artists. Hip hop ain't even have a song in top 40. Like everything just drowning from everything with this. Shout out to Candy Cane. Double tap that screen. Show love. $1.99. I appreciate that. Can anybody else add to that super chat? Yeah, hip hop. No, hip hop. Underground hip hop not ass, bro. That's what it is. The mainstream fan base got to tap into the underground, and I promise you'll find what you're looking for. I promise you'll find what you're looking for. Real talk. When you tap into the underground, you'll find what you're looking for. Real talk. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm not even going to hold you. You will find what you're looking for. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to comment, man, just you want me to read your comment, man. As of now, man, we got to get out of there at 6:00 because we is recording tonight. You know what I'm saying? We work, and you know we did so good on this live video, bro. We gonna drop Get to Know Me tonight at 12. So just make sure y'all put that notification and subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel. If you don't do nothing, man, subscribe to the channel. You ain't never gotta look at the channel again, but subscribe to the channel. Matter of fact, hit that notification bell. But become a super chat fan right now. Become a super chat fan right now. Become a super chat. We're gonna put some different tiers and levels on that. So what else we got, Spaz? What you got on your mind? Damn, I can't get over this Epstein thing. I just can't because they ain't shift. What? Oh, the floor empty. The house floor empty. It's done. And they said it's 5 people. It's probably them two. They look racist over there. We not doing the Epstein, my man. I ain't doing it. I understand that, boy. You ain't supposed to take your man down, but he's already down, 6 feet down.
The House has voted on the bill to force the Justice Department to release.
Here we go.
I just got paid.
Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. What the hell is this? Check it out. That's what it is. That's what it is. Welcome to my world. Welcome to a content creator world. This is what this is. This Raw Dope Podcast, the rawest and dopest interviews and content on the planet, and we covering your brother. We covering your brother, Jeffrey Epstein, and the sleazeball things that he did to women, and his files are being released. That's what we covering, brother. Brother, you got to change the smoke detector. Pull up. 187 Park Hell Drive, Baltimore, Maryland, 2911. 2911. 187 Park Hell Drive, 2911. 2911. Pull up and change it, firefighter. Let's
now. There was one no
Yo,
vote.
Mike, you
It
tell them on
still
YouTube.
needs
On
to
Congress
go
Room.
get through the Senate.
Tell 'em on
Leader
YouTube.
John Thune has been non-committal about bringing it up for a vote. The president says if it reaches his desk, he would sign it. A lot of critics say the president doesn't need congressional approval. He could just request the Justice Department to release the files right now. President Trump strongly opposed the plan for months until he reversed course Sunday. Last week, the president asked the Justice Department to investigate any ties between Epstein and powerful Democrats, including former President Bill Clinton, who has denied any wrongdoing. One of those Democrats is Harvard professor and former Treasury Secretary under Clinton, Larry Summers. He says he is stepping back from public life after messages between him and Epstein were released. He says he is deeply ashamed of his actions and recognizes the pain they have caused. CBS News congressional reporter Torian Small joins us from Capitol Hill. Torian, what happened with the vote?
Yeah, Lindsay, we saw 427 to 1. That is a pretty resounding vote in the affirmative for this bill. Near unanimous. The one lawmaker defector in this is Clay Higgins, a Republican from Louisiana, who's also part of the Freedom Caucus. We're working to get his statement on why he voted against this. But ultimately, though, this is exactly what many, including quite a few Republicans, expected to happen. Even House Speaker Mike Johnson suggested that this would be well on its way to the Senate, even though he had some reservations about the bill as it stands. One of which is privacy for some of the victims named in these files, as they're set to be released in a very public manner in a searchable and down.
Them victims gonna get their just due, man. I hope they get justice for all them women that was violated.
To the Senate, where
I hope they get justice.
Likely to consider amendments, considering he had a conversation with Speaker Johnson about
I hope everybody get that.
If that happens and it passes out of the Senate with those changes, it would have to come back to the House for a vote before it makes it to the president's desk. One other thing, Lindsay, I want to bring up is what Representative Thomas Massey, the
Scott, go to the president's desk for the president to sign it.
Brought up.
You know what I mean? It's a unanimous case. Yeah, it's over. It's over. If Trump was involved, he got to go down. Man to man. Like, I'm just be real with you. Anybody that was involved and they choose to bring charges against them, they gotta go down. You get what I'm saying? They gotta go down, bro. And we supporting this, bro. And if Hugh Hefner ain't die, they was gonna get him too. If Huey ain't go, they was gonna get Huey too. They need to go back and get them college girl gone wild dudes too. You know what I mean? Hugh Hefner and them college girls gone wild dudes, bro. They was in a lot of underage actions, bro. Bring them all up, man. Dig them about the dirt, man. You feel me? That's what they do. Bring them about the dirt, man. They have to pay for this. You get what I'm saying? They have to pay this. And listen, it's no news that I broke. It's no news that I did no research. They're telling you all right now on CBS News 24/7, MMSBC. You can pull them all up. They're talking about this. They are talking about this. And I am a content creator that loves hip hop. Check it out. Hey, listen, check this out. You know, since y'all been so nice, if I get 9 more likes, I give y'all a tour of my space. Give me 9 more likes, 9 more thumbs up in there, man. Help me out, man. It's 259 people. Can I get the 9 people? The other 250 people can leave, but can I get the 9 people? 9 people. And now it's 8 people. 1 person left already. He's like that Republican on the House floor that's voting no, don't open the Jeffrey Epstein files. But can I get 7 more people? 7 more people just to hit the like, and I give y'all a tour of the in-house podcast man cave / studio. That's all I want to do. 24 people in there. You feel what I'm saying? Hey, shout out to my mod squad, Candy Kane, Third World. You know, that's my partner. So they hurting y'all right now. If you say anything ignorant on this live, you getting sniped, bro. You getting sniped, bro. We getting sniped. We sending you to Jeffrey Epstein. That's what we doing. We sending you to him. You know what I mean? We putting you. Matter of fact, we're not sending him to you. We're not gonna send you to him. You're gonna help yourself go visit him by just visiting, you know, his cell. And then when you get in that cell, you'll off yourself because you'll be guilty of being ignorant. Hey, somebody said that's where I want to go. Hey, boy, hey, you going? Because when you say something ignorant like that, that's where you going. You into that. You going. But I don't want you to go to Jeffrey Epstein. I want your victim people to catch you and handle you the way you supposed to be handled because you ignorant. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, you just need a couple black eyes and a busted lip. A busted lip and a bottle cross. You know what I mean? That's all you need, man. You just need some more. You need a friendly ass whipping for being as ignorant for you for making that comment, bro. That's what you need. Go help your mother with the groceries. Don't do them all dirty before I tell them. Go help your mother with the groceries. Don't block them out. Just delete their comment. Matter of fact, it's engagement. Let all of it through. 6 more likes to the comment box and we do it. Hey, buy a t-shirt somewhere down there. You hit that button right there. You hit that little button, you can buy a t-shirt. You feel me? Candy Cane got them. You can hit the t-shirts. Hit the t-shirts for me. That's all you got to do. Just hit the little t-shirt. You know what I mean? Buy a t-shirt. Know what I mean? Do something, bro. Do something instead of Ohio is sick of mega and religion funding. Got him. What he say? You cannot change the battery in your smoke detector. How you plan on giving to the black eyes and fat lip? This is what I like to do. I went to pay the lawsuit. Hold up. It go like this. Hold up. I don't want y'all to see it yet. It's like the Super Mario thing. It's batteries. It's batteries. And a smoke detector don't need no batteries. When you're smoking, it alarms. It makes that little noise to let you know that there's smoke going on. You know, it's like custom, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's the new one. Like the song go, it's that new. It's the new swag. It's the new smoke detectors, bro. In a dictionary under ignorant, there's a picture of you. Yeah, we sick of Trump. You know what I mean? Trump do his thing, but we don't really care for him too much. You know what I mean? But hey, I don't care what you like to do, Jeffrey. Boy, there you go. Hey, when you got the name Jeffrey and this scream is about Jeffrey Epstein, I don't like you, bro. They gave you the wrong name. Right now in 2025, in November, before Turkey Day, your name is Jeffrey. That's not a good name to have, bro. This is the last couple of minutes. I got 14 minutes in here, but I have to talk to the trolls in the comments. I'm not reading your comments. I'm going to read it in my head and I'm going to respond to you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Speak for yourself, Jeffrey. Jeffrey Clark. Put his name in Instagram or something. Put Jeffrey Clark 8208. See, could you find him? We want to see how he look. You know what I mean? Because that might be Jeffrey Epstein. And he might be trolling. That might be Jeffrey Epstein. That's Jeffrey Epstein and he trolling. If Trump be the president in 2028, you are gonna be the next millionaire from the Maryland lottery. You're gonna win the Maryland lottery for $925 million. And you're gonna take that $925 million and you're gonna go be a Trump supporter. That's it. If Trump is in office for 2028, when you become a billion, when you win that $995 million mega millions, you and Trump gonna be hanging out together. So that's a beautiful thing in 2028. You gonna win the lottery in 2028 and Trump gonna win the election. It's not gonna fucking happen, idiot. God, how's he gonna win an election? It's the United States. Nobody's letting him get 3 terms. And if he tried, it's gonna be a war within the country. It never happened before, but it will happen. They're not ready to let him. He's old, like Swash, bro. You just love Trump, bro, because I think he did something to you in one of them Epstein parties. Jeffrey. They crashing that boy. I'm tired of this Epstein guy. They say, 4 police officers suspended. Let's get into that. We getting into real topics. You know what I mean? We get into real topics.
4 Baltimore City police officers now under criminal investigation in California, including a district commander. Fox 45's Vincent Hill is digging into the investigation tonight.
That's right. He joins us live downtown with what we've learned amid several recent legal
breaking news.
Well, Kyle, Maxine, that news coming down earlier this afternoon. Now, the details of that investigation right now tight-lipped by BPD, but just the latest officers being criminally charged. Baltimore City's Eastern Police District, its commander, Major Jai Eteru, one of 4 BPD officers under criminal investigation in San Francisco, California. According to BPD's website, Eteru joined the department in 2010 and and was promoted to major in 2023. While the circumstances of that investigation have yet to be released, the suspensions come as other BPD officers have been under the spotlight. Just last week, Officer Robert Parks, seen in this now viral video, appearing to try to run over a man, was indicted on second-degree attempted murder charges.
It is not what we want our officers doing. It's definitely not what we're training them to do. And unfortunately, one.
Oh, that's the cop. The cop tried to run a guy over in our neighborhood. Real talk.
Richard Worley
Yeah.
at the time of that viral.
Yeah, that's what it was. It ain't no new cops. They all just, cops do what they want to do. You know what I mean? And then you get a prosecutor, you get a smart prosecutor here and there, they take them down. Just like the feds did Jeffrey Epstein. They take him down. They take him down, bro. You cannot go out here and be doing these crimes, being police officers, and to be big time millionaires and think you're gonna get away with it. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. And anybody that think it's right, I feel sorry for your pets because they have an ignorant, sick owner like you. Feel sorry for your pets. I can't blame it on your mother and your father, but I gotta blame it on that. You know what I mean? I gotta blame it on, you know what I'm saying? Can't blame it on your parents. Your parents tried to raise you right. They don't know how this came out of you. You know what I mean? I don't know how it came out of these people. How could you do this to me? Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, man. Hey, listen, we still 4 likes away from giving y'all a tour of my hip hop wall. Cause I feel like if I had 100 likes, then I could do the whole thing. But I just want to show y'all the hip hop wall. If I could show y'all the hip hop wall for 4 more likes, I'm cool. Like, share, and subscribe. You get what I'm saying? If I could share that, you know what I mean? If I could share that, man. We in the studio tonight. Boy, say he ate pets. That's what I'm saying. Boy, you going, hey. One thing about you, man, you going where you deserve to go. You know what I'm saying? One day. You know what I'm saying? Because, you into everything that the world is not about. You know what I mean? The world is about love, peace, and happiness. Living young, wild, and free, man. Staying stoned up to capacity. Taking care of your family. Taking care of the environment and the earth. That's what the world's about. But it's ignorant people like you that's out here that get to walk the streets with no care in the world and think you're going to do stuff. But hey, today, the government, the U.S. government, they decided to open the Jeffrey Epstein files. And because they opened the Jeffrey Epstein files, a lot of his grandchildren, a lot of his supporters, a lot of his fans are highly upset. So they choose to come in here, offer Jeffrey command. Jeffrey Epstein told them to come on this chat and come on this live in the afternoon and start talking gibberish. That's not fair, bro. That's not fair. It is you guys' turn. Your front guy has left the earth, and may God rest his soul. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not a hateful guy. All I am is a content creator, and I got my own opinion, dog. I got my own fucking opinion. That's my man, Kenny. I took Kenny line right there. You see that? You like, did I sound like Kenny right there? I don't care. I ain't going to go off the meat rack. I don't care how nobody think about nothing. When I went on these channels and stuff, R. Kelly, Larry Hoover, Kanye West, my guy, you know what I mean? Jamie Foxx, Jay-Z, Sean Combs. Oh, man. You should have seen some of the Oscar awarding journalists that was on top of these cases. You should have seen them. Now, it's the next person's turn. Because you can't go around breaking the law. The men and women that didn't break the law were found guilty. And then they got to come back on appeal. The men and the women that didn't break the law got found not guilty or didn't even get charged. It's some creeps that didn't get charged. It's some wild individual that didn't get charged. But now when they open up these files, it ain't the boys no more, man. It ain't our turn no more, man. You know, they done took the whip off the back, man. So we ain't got to worry about this, man. We gonna think about the dirt trial, February, January, man. Hopefully they give Juan W. Melly a fair shot. Because you know, these guys didn't go in the cell and just off themselves. These guys are saying, we are guilty until proven innocent. Because you know that's how it is when you one of the men or women. You're guilty until proven innocent. But in these other guys' case, they're innocent until proven guilty. Now these files are being released. We don't gotta worry about waiting on the dirt trial and the Big U trial and the Brick Baby trial and all the trials in the world that these media platforms cover. And hey, you gotta feed your family some type of way. And if these individuals do not do the ignorant things and involve themselves in that, you will have no news to report. But when they do this, and all the platforms put it out, and it's not on the interview day, Rod Doe Podcast is going to get you. I got my own opinion, dog. I'm like I said, I'm not a super research monkey because this ain't what I like. But I do like some albums that dropped. I felt like Cardi B album should have been in the top 40. I felt like that was really a good project. I'm not even gonna lie. So shit like that. I know what auctions to go to on tomorrow. I know stuff like that. I know they gave the people in the ghetto the food stamps back, half of them. I know stuff like that. You know what I mean? I know the court system crucifying. I know stuff like that. I know the stuff that I'm supposed to know. Cause I mind my business. And you know, this is just the everyday thing that you get with your coffee when you come from the urban community, the ghetto, the traps, the trailer park, whatever you want to call it. But after all that, I come back in the house and I become a journalist and I click and I read and I see what's going on. And I got my own opinion, Doug. You know, I wish prison on no man or no woman. I wish death on no man or no woman. But I understand that man and women do things on the planet that their hand calls for the worstest punishment. And unfortunately, in Jeffrey Epstein case, he knew he was guilty. He knew he did a lot of horrifying, disrespectful, ignorant things. And he chose to not face his reality and his consequences like a man. And, you know, the word in the news, not on the street, because he don't know nothing about the streets. He couldn't tell you what a ghetto looked like. But the word in the news and amongst his peers, he committed suicide. The report from the jail, he committed suicide. And like I said, may the good Lord rest his soul. But for the things that he did in committing suicide, we don't know. We don't know. But he will have his day of judgment. We all will. But one thing about me, I won't have that on my day of judgment. That's what I want. I might be judged for a lot of things, but that part I won't be judged for. And I want to explain this to y'all, you know, just as a content creator, you know, I like to do my interviews. I like to do my vlogs. I like to do different things. I try to keep it as clean as possible. The one thing that I know as being, you know, independent content creator, it's not a lot of platforms that cover these stories. A lot of platforms get caught up in the rapture of these bigger platforms, and they tend to cover the stories of us, you know, making us look bad. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that. Either you hearing war of this, you hearing war of that. But hey, here go a person that made millions of dollars off of entertainment, made millions of dollars, or whatever he made millions of dollars off of, and was successful and was blessed. You know, when you make millions of dollars, or even you make hundreds of dollars, you are blessed. And he was blessed to live above average. And because he was living above average, he chose to take advantage of people. And that taking advantage of people caught up with him. And because that taking advantage of people caught up with him, his guilty conscience and his karma all wrapped in one. And his ignorance, he said, allegedly, he killed himself. And if he didn't kill himself, his ignorance and the information that he know and the people that he could hurt that did the ignorance with him probably arranged some things. I don't know. That's just my opinion, dog. I don't know. I'm not saying none of this is facts. This is my opinion. This is my brain from watching and reading, and I put it all in my brain in this pot of gumbo. I rationalize and come out with my own opinion, Doug. It has nothing to do with nobody. I don't know the man. Like I said, I could walk outside right now and do 10. I'm gonna go and put my camera on 10 different people and ask them who Jeffrey Epstein is, and they're gonna tell you Tylenol. I don't know what he's a metal, football player. You know what I'm saying? Why I come from? Nobody gives two fucks. You know what I mean? Nobody gives two fucks. Unique, what's good? You know what I mean? I ain't never been a train a day in my life. Roscoe 4120. I don't know like that. Get Roscoe out the way. There you go, Roscoe. Go play with somebody else. Block Roscoe too. Just you start playing with a man. I don't even feel like disrespecting my audience with the ignorance, because I got that ignorant stuff into me too. When you do it to me, I do it back to you. It's fair game, no rivalry. But like I said, there's a lot of things across the news that involve different cultures, and this is just the news that I choose to cover today. So once again, man, it's 131 people, 133 people in here. I wanted more likes. So if you can like the video. But I've been in here for a while. It's been good content. And if you want to see what I was talking about, you got to rewind it. But please hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. No fuck shit, no fake shit, no foolishness. Anything you say can and will be used against you on the internet. Raw Dope Podcast, it stands for the rawest and dopest interviews on the planet. My cardinal rules is no fuck shit, no fake shit, no foolishness, meaning that I ain't into that. You know what I mean? And my content wasn't to disrespect nobody, wasn't to hurt nobody, or wasn't to insult anybody. My content and everything that I talked about this evening was just covering what's in the news and giving my own opinion, from the bottom of my heart. And I appreciate everybody for tapping in. Up and coming, I got a doc series coming out, shot by Third World. Shout out to Third World. Shout out to Spaz Money. You know what we doing. Shout out to Kenny Faso. Shout out to the crew. Shout out to the First Lady, Candy Kane. Shout out to everybody that's fucking with me, showing me love, and been tapping in. And we did good, so there's no need for us not to come back. You know what I mean? So we probably come back tonight. If not, I'll be back at you in some funny time. I'm not even picking the time because that time ain't been working for me. But hey, I thank y'all for tapping in. No fuck shit, no fake shit, no foolishness. Anything you say can and will be used against you on the internet.